You know, Currie, when we're talking about the three concerns of what's in municipal water, I know you feel a lot like I do. In your opinion, what's the most important thing that we should be talking? I agree.
Chemicals. You know, so first things first. At Honest Water, we focus on municipally fed houses. We can work with wells, but most plumbers are in municipally fed houses every single day, all day long. And they need help just like everyone else. It's the low-hanging fruit. Well, if it's a municipally fed house, that means that there's intentional chemicals in the water and there's unintentional chemicals in the water. The intentional chemical, as we all know, is chlorine or a chlorine-based disinfectant. The unintentional chemicals could be any pollution.
Right.
It could be agriculture, so herbicides or pesticides. It could be medical.
Pharmaceuticals.
Radiological waste.
Right.
You know, there's a lot that seeps in through the distribution system because it's not always intact. The municipalities know this. That's why they put chlorine in the water. Well, they put just enough in to help prevent bacterial infections and people getting sick, but they make sure that it's easily removed. And the way that you remove chemicals from water is carbon. That's the generally accepted for how many years now?
Oh my God, 100 years.
Right. I mean, we've been using carbon to remove chemicals for over a century. But if we can do better, shouldn't we? And there's a better way to remove chemicals from the water. Yes, loose granulated activated carbon is the go-to, and it works. We're not saying it doesn't work. But there's a question, well, there's actually two questions that a lot of people don't ask.
Right.
How much of the chemicals are we removing, and how long are we removing it for? And that is the critical question. Just because we're removing some of the free chlorine, like what we smell and taste, that doesn't mean that we're getting all those chemicals out of the water. So when we approach the three concerns of water and we prioritize chemicals, the reason that the Honest Water filter products do it at such a high level is their reduction is based on almost 4 times as much carbon than your traditional carbon tank. So how much carbon would be in a traditional carbon tank?
Most guys would use at least a cubic foot, and I would say in the last 10 years the trend's been a 10 by 54 tank with a cube and a half of carbon in it.
Okay, so a cube and a half of carbon, and that's not even talking like mixed media beds. That's just
Correct.
a straight carbon tank.
They get less than mixed media beds if you're trying to put other stuff in there.
Okay, so with our traditional whole house solution, a 2 cartridge system will contain 4.25 cubes of carbon. So we take a proprietary recipe of our carbon, then we press it down and we bake it so it holds its form. And it is miraculous, the level of chemicals that it's removing and for how long it's maintaining that high level of reduction. That's where we make our money. That's where we stand out, is removing those chemicals because of our carbon.
I agree. And the thing about chemicals is they're bad for the two things that we're trying to protect in the home. They're not great for the people or the appliances.
That's true. If you look at some of the other concerns, it's not as important for one or the other. Right. Chemicals hits both.
Absolutely.
So if we address chemicals in the water, that's a huge step towards providing high quality water for drinking, consuming, bathing, and so on.